Should I leave it like this or should I put it down? I don't know. Kind of like it like this. So maybe. Hey guys, it's Eva and I'm gonna do tips on traveling to Puerto Rico. This is gonna be like tips and things you need to know so when you get there, you know what you're getting into. If it's your first time traveling there, I usually go there. I've been there a couple times now. So I think it'll be pretty useful for me to give some tips for you guys. Tip number one, or something that you need to know, you do not need a passport. Puerto Rico is a part of the US and it's just like the Virgin Islands, I believe is the same thing, where it's US territory. So you don't need a passport. All you need is some form of ID, but it's not required to travel with a passport. So that's good if you don't have one. It's somewhere on your list that you can go. Tip number two, you don't need to exchange your currency in Puerto Rico. They accept dollars just like anywhere else in the US. So you don't have to worry about changing out any currency or anything like that. Number three, tres, you don't need to know Spanish, at least if you're gonna be in San Juan where I usually go. You don't need to know much Spanish. You can get by with a lot of English. So if you were wondering like, oh, do I need to learn Spanish? Do I need to download some app or a translator? You don't. A lot of people, they know English. They'll speak with you with English. They try to speak Spanish. Just tell them you prefer English. Most people know it and it's taught in their schools. So most Puerto Ricans remember it from school or they just learn on their own. And since it's a part of the US, I guess it's kind of like integrated or known to know English. So you don't have to worry about a language barrier. If you travel farther out of San Juan, that's where it's a little less more Americanized. Number four, you will not get food poisoning. I know probably in other Caribbean places you might worry about like food poisoning and stuff like that, but in Puerto Rico I've never had any food poisoning. I've never heard of anyone having any food poisoning, so there's nothing to worry about. You can eat all you want, it's fine, and the food is fire. Number five, this one is kind of like something interesting about Puerto Rico that I learned. Puerto Rico is one of the few islands in the world to have a black sand beach. So if you want to check out a black sand beach, you should go to Puerto Rico. In my last video where I vlogged about my trip for my birthday, I went to the beach. It was so beautiful. Never went there before, so it's something you should definitely check out. I think we're on number five. I lost count, but you should know that Puerto Rico, the pricing is pretty much the same as anywhere else in the US. When it comes to food and like drinks and stuff like that, if you shop at the groceries, they're pretty much like any other state you would shop in. But if you're renting, if you're looking to move there, renting is definitely cheaper, I heard. I live in Jersey and the prices are pretty expensive here. It's like the top in the country, one of the top states, but in Puerto Rico it's much less to rent, so that's something to know. Other than that, everything's kind of pretty much the same. Number six, Puerto Ricans are super friendly. They will tell you like where to go if it's your first time, where to like party, the best restaurants to eat at. They're just willing to show you around and show you their island, which I really appreciate. They're super nice. Very like festival people, I would say. So that's something nice. If you're traveling there, you'll see that. Number seven, I think, don't disrespect the locals. Don't take their kindness for weakness. If you're advised not to go somewhere, maybe you shouldn't go. Don't roam around and feel comfortable in places you're not sure of, because that's how you get yourself gotten in trouble. If you are somewhere that you're not used to, just be respectful. Don't abuse anything or like try to do the most. And just because you're on vacation doesn't mean that the locals are. They live there, so keep that in mind. So when you go out to eat, tipping is expected like other states in the United States. So when you go out, please tip like you would regularly tip in any other state. Puerto Rico, like I previously said, is a territory of the United States, so it pretty much follows its rules and regulations and a lot of its customs. So tipping is a regular thing. The weather is so beautiful, but it's sometimes a little bit iffy and unexpected. It's kind of like Florida weather, where it's sunny one time and then all of a sudden you're out and it starts raining. That happens in Puerto Rico. Other than that, the weather is obviously perfect. Yeah, and I just wanted to throw in, a lot of people ask like if Puerto Rico still has the effects of Maria. A lot of places do, as like hurricanes tend to affect there, but for the most part, Puerto Rico it has a lot of potential. It has a lot of beautiful things about it, and it has a lot of pull. So a lot of people are very strong there. They get through a lot. So if you go, it's not like in shambles or anything. It's very beautiful. The beaches are amazing. They're clean. So I would book your next trip, just saying, to Puerto Rico for sure. So these were my tips. I hope I didn't leave anything out. If I did, maybe I could make like a part 2, but pretty much that sums up everything about what you need to know, or tips on going to Puerto Rico if you weren't sure about certain things. Like I said, it's a beautiful island and you should definitely check it out.